music was playing. I feel like we got to the secret level or something.
Seriously.
Quickly, collect all the pineapples as fast as you can. All right, this is Dark versus INnoVation. We knew this was coming. Everybody knew this was going to happen. These guys are going to face off in the winner's match. We had to see, okay, maybe there's a chance Ryung upsets or DoKyung upsets, but this is to be expected.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, who do you think takes it? Let's just go right there.
INnoVation.
What's the map score?
2-1.
2-1?
Yes. What about you?
I think INnoVation definitely wins the first map. Well, it's Eastwatch, right? So I generally like the way INnoVation is played on this map a lot of the time. You force a very strong push through the small chokes, and it's very hard for Zerg to hold. I mean, yeah, I could see INnoVation winning this. Yeah, I agree with you. 2-1 or 2-0.
Okay. Again, map number 1 is Eastwatch. This is Dark versus INnoVation.
God, I love StarCraft.
It is a pretty good game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dark.
Some dark cheers in the crowd.
INnoVation.
Now maybe I'm overestimating INnoVation. I'm going to put an asterisk by my prediction here, just because, you know, how the game against Billowy went really doesn't show what Dark and INnoVation are going to look like when they're interacting with each other. Yeah. Billowy might be having a really bad day. I mean, this could be Billowy could be the jobber of that match if this was WWE. So, yeah, go ahead.
Someone actually showed me some stats, like tweeted them at me or something. INnoVation has the highest win percentage in GSL over everybody, and the only person that's played as many games as him is Sue.
Wow.
Like, he's a better win rate than MVP even.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and he's played way more.
That's crazy.
So, just throwing that out there, like, he is the ultimate. Welcome.
Thanks for coming down, guys. This is a good day. Again, definitely a good day to be indoors with how rainy and gross it is outside.
Yeah, it's super rainy today. Not really into walking around and getting wet.
So these guys have had a pretty even history, to be honest.
Rightfully so.
I mean, when you look at scores like that, it really could go either way.
I would, yeah, I would definitely say so, especially when you look at Legacy of the Void, right? When they show the all statistic, it's a fun one, but it doesn't mean nearly as much. You really got to cut things out that are further, are longer ago, I guess? Is that the right way to put this? Like, the further back statistics go, the less they mean. Obviously, there can be patterns that emerge that, like, oh god, this guy has a block in his brain against this guy, but, like, a lot of times one of the pros was better before the other one or something like that.
Yeah,
the balance might have been different.
That's a very good point.
Especially in StarCraft 2, the balance might have been different at a different time.
Let's say we had MVP here in the GSL, and he was facing off against, like, Ryung or something. Their record back then doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it really would.
We can point it out just for trivia, but if you're going to try to glean too much more data from that.
Yeah. By the way, did you see that MVP was actually back playing some StarCraft 2?
Yeah, he was streaming, yeah.
Isn't that cool? Did you get to see how high he was? I actually didn't.
I did not. I caught it very, very briefly.
I wonder how good he is. I wonder if someone just messaged him like, hey, Mech is really strong right now. He's like, oh, whoa, money. All right.
Well, what happened? Did his hand get better? Because he was having hand issues or wrist issues for a long time.
I don't know what forced it, but or what caused him to.
Well, I remember his hand was falling apart when eventually he was just like,
Jaedong's body.
Just like Jaedong's body's falling apart, guys. His wrist was, though, if you remember, we were kind of traveling around with him. I mean,
he started playing mech more and more and more, and I mean that can be taken either as he needed to do something slower than marine-based play, or something smarter and more cost-efficient than marine-based play. Take it as you will.
The fact that his wrist was hurting so much, and he's like, I don't know, man. I keep winning tournaments. I gotta. There's another 10, 20 grand in this next event. I'm just gonna go. But then he had to take a long hiatus, so that's cool. He's back playing. I would love to see if he'd ever compete again, because he really was just on another level when he was playing.
It's so hard for these pros to come back.
True.
Like, for instance, MMA is trying really hard right now, right? He's practicing very heavily. Obviously, this was a really successful pro gamer back in that same era as MVP. And, you know, he stayed around a bit longer and all, but eventually, you know, he had to go, military service and all that. And, I mean, he's trying really hard, but will he reach that same level again? Like, the amount, it's almost like you're starting over, you know? 2 years of not playing professionally.
Well, also, you know,
everyone gets so, like, I mean, you and I can certainly attest going back and starting playing Brood War again. It's like, well,
oh God, yeah,
it was a longer period of time and we weren't top of the world pros or anything,
everything
but it's
that we
like
knew
crazy.
turned out to just not really matter. I mean, there was
everyone gets so much
some skills obviously translated over, but yeah, when StarCraft Remastered came back and we both started trying to play again, it's like, oh, well, I got to tear down everything I know. I need to get some scaffolding built around the ideas that I had, and I have to start really looking at this a different way because, yeah, the game changes. And the same thing is, I'd say even more so true in StarCraft 2, where we've had new units and more patches coming out.
It's even more different now. There's all sorts of unit interactions that people won't be used to, and different ways of doing things. But anyways, I mean, I really hope that some of these guys that are kind of coming back, like, I don't know that MVP will. I doubt that he'll actually try to truly come back. But, like, MMA, God, I wish him the best luck. How sick would it be if MMA is a championship contender again?
Oh,
or Parting. Parting is back playing quite a bit.
Yeah.
What if he becomes some guy that's just hitting that round of 16? Like, the group selection ceremony was always better with him in it.
Oh, yeah. You know, I actually see him a decent amount nowadays.
Yeah.
I just see him around my neighborhood. Bump into him, say hi, talk to him for a little bit. It's really cool seeing him be back and be active again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope that such things can occur. Anyways, I guess there is a StarCraft game going on. But you know what? We have masterfully filled that time. Nothing has truly happened. Just slight harassment back and forth. Looks like a Hellion Cyclone coming out, but this is actually Bio behind it. 1-1 and Stim on the way. Of course, we did see an Overlord sacked in earlier to see what was going on.
The Spire is coming up now with 1-1 as well. And we have we could see INnoVation beginning to try to push forward here. Now this is going to be an interesting litmus test to see where a fairly normal ZVT is going to go with these two guys.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine they can't kill each other. Yeah. But I occasionally INnoVation just, it's like a dam breaking. And he just spills through and everything starts to die.
I think especially on a map like this, specifically on Eastwatch, it's not wide open in the middle at all. It's a huge map and there's a ton of paths, but you see Terran players sometimes set up these rally pushes with siege tanks, and you kind of are either funneling in from the wall or you're having to go so far around it's insane and your creep spread might not even be connected there. So it, like, from the TVZs we've seen here, I've always really liked the way INnoVation does this, and I think that's what we're going to end up seeing. But Dark going for Mutalisk play I really like as well, because it's specifically against Hydra some of those pushes are even better, right? Because the Hydras are all clumping up trying to get through these little chokes against a pre-positioned Terran.
A scan here. And a lot of times when we see this Mutalisk play, we'll see them stay on this kind of tech for a while and keep bashing in to the army in the hopes that they get a really favorable trade. Now hold on, I think these Mutas, wait, are they going to... Oh no, in fact, how funny. They're going to go right by where the medevacs are. Like two passing ships in the night. Yeah,
it looks like those medevacs are maybe designed to push out some creep here. Maybe the push will go down towards that gold base. Normally they go a little bit more through the center, but...
Uh-oh.
Wow.
There's just nothing here, yeah.
Nice.
I was actually, my eyes were darting around. I was thinking, okay, is this actually as exposed as it looks? Yes, it is. And this is going to force INnoVation to try to come back. INnoVation really neglecting having any defense here for his workers. So 7 free kills there for the Mutas.
Really cool, too. You don't think of Dark as a Mutalisk player very much at all. Even when they were in style. Like, this is a guy that went Corruptors instead of Mutas very oftentimes a long time ago.
And, you know, this really did a great job. It forced INnoVation to go all the way back home and try to defend. INnoVation... we'll get another opportunity to try to attack out here. That Viking's not going to last too long here.
Certainly not. Doesn't quite get its prey. Viper's already on the way, and Ultralisk Cavern coming up as well. 2-2 here, being upgraded, but 2-2 is going to hit for INnoVation. And this is exactly what we've been talking about. This type of very strong timing push. He's going to have 2-2 and siege tanks setting up in these kind of thin areas. Look at that, 4 siege tanks. This push is going to be incredibly hard to stop.
Yeah, and this has been his INnoVations at his scariest. He's probably got the best pushes in the game. It's very different from Byun, who has a lot of tactical micro.
Yeah.
INnoVation is a battering ram. He's a force that is so hard to be contested as it moves across the map. He knows exactly when to set up and hold a position. He knows exactly when to fork back out, and he knows when to dive in as well here.
The Baneling's trying to get on top of everything. A huge surround here by Dark. And
oh my God, I cannot believe that went as well for INnoVation as it did.
Yeah.
I mean, with a Ling surround like that, wow. Now the Mutas are kind of slowing things down, but the problem here is INnoVation's actually pushed down into this location here at the bottom. And it looks like he actually is going to get the rock.
Oh, that is so
Oh my
annoying.
God.
Get wrecked,
Wow.
Queens. Oh my God.
Wow.
And the gold base does go down. This was a little bit...
That was so sick.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of predictably how INnoVation needed to play this situation, but he hasn't done actually enough damage. This game is going to get a lot longer because Ultras are about to pop out.
No,
when you have 2-2 chitinous plating Ultras from Dark, normally he has 1 or 2 Ultras pop out and the game goes on.
I get your analysis, Artosis, but all I'm going to say is I saw Rock smash a bunch of queens, and I think INnoVation's got this one, bro.
Because Rock smashed
That's
a bunch
right,
of queens.
man. I'm throwing analysis out the window.
Level analysis.
The push is going to come in now. Now the angle here is a little bit tricky, but Dark has so many Banelings, it might just be so much damage coming out, it might not matter.
His Vipers need to hit either Blinding Clouds or Abducts onto these Siege Tanks, I think. That's, like, really key. Where are those Vipers? He has, like, 3 of them. Okay, 2 flying up. Okay, Blinding Clouds going off. Pretty decent. The Banelings, though, not really getting the connections that they need. They're hitting Siege Tanks. They're being picked off. Oh,
yep,
God.
INnoVation is
not
going to crush through.
Chitinous plating isn't done. Things are wrong.
Yeah, it looks like the Queen as well as some of these Ultras are going to go down here. The DPS out here is just too much. 3 Ultras all about to be killed. Man, INnoVation, again, scariest pushes in the game. I thought we were going to have a long game. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that this could have gotten long, and maybe it still can because it's Dark, but that engagement, I feel like losing that base is so much better. You let chitinous plating finish, you hit your spells a bit better.
You know, he might have had 2 Ultras and kind of been hanging on, which is what Dark does, but INnoVation is just too good.
Yeah.
INnoVation crushing through.
Yeah, but you know what? That map in particular, I think, is really good for INnoVation against any Zerg. It doesn't matter what Zerg it is, whether it's Dark, Rogue, Leenock, hell, it doesn't matter. Okay, that map, INnoVation is very good with those pushes. He sets up his tanks, he goes through those small areas, he puts that unfathomable INnoVation rally push pressure on you where there are more units than you can even comprehend. And look, Dark felt like he had to pull the trigger there. I think that was a big mistake, though, right? He's like running off of creep with Ultras before chitinous is done. It's just a recipe for disaster.
You know, even with that really great surround there by Dark, it was not enough. INnoVation just stims and bursts through. Now we're going to go on to the map Backwater, which should lend itself to a macro game, but with these 2 guys, I just don't know. Keep in mind, Dark is always okay doing something aggressive if he feels like it's going to favor him more than going for a late game. And so far, the games where Dark tries to last a long time, at least today, haven't gone so well.
Dark.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad play that game. Maybe a poor engagement at one point. Those queens did get crushed by the rocks, Tasis. You're certainly right about that.
Yeah, man. I mean,
INnoVation.
When you lose queens
when those
I
boulders,
mean,
yeah, just smash the queens and lock out the Banelings. Like this is some kind of blockbuster action movie.
Yeah.
that does not have a good storyline, but you know, it's basically good action porn. Then you know. Thanks for coming down, everybody. We love you guys. INnoVation, it's so funny. It's so straightforward. He just really has good instinct in fights.
Yeah.
And out of all the Terrans we have, he basically handles these massive engages better than anybody else.
Yes, and you know what? There's a big thing to what you just said right there that I want to go over real quick. Like, he's really good in these big battles, and he has a good sense for his attacks. And here's why. Because his macro is the best, so he knows... Like, the thing is, when you're playing and practicing, and you're trying to hit some of these attacks, it can get confusing what happened because you might have missed a little bit of macro. You might have had a few less units than you should have had.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in INnoVation. Every time he's having a fight, he basically has as many units as anyone could have in it. So every time he's doing it, he's getting way more information than a player that's less skilled at macro, right? Where it's like, oh, you missed an extra round, so it changes it in this way, and it becomes like, was I supposed to attack there? Was I supposed to be able to win? INnoVation kind of knows these things.
Yeah, I think not just that, but when he has an attack, it seems like, because, you know, some of these attacks we have take up more than one screen when you're playing, but he seems to always have his screen in the right spot. He knows where to fork his army out. He knows how to stretch the limits.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Terran army have as much elasticity in large numbers as INnoVation. Again, I think
That's a good way to put it.
Beyond is the master of eking out damage with tiny armies.
Yeah.
No matter what the units are, Marines, Reapers, Marauders.
Certainly he's better small army play.
Yeah, but INnoVation, if you give him something huge, he can always tear through.
And it feels like right now Maru's the best of both worlds, to be honest. He's got the Beyond control with the smaller amounts, and then he's got the INnoVation big game macro play a little bit more nowadays. Obviously, that's why we see him being so successful this year when you put all those things together.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Maru, you're right, is kind of... You know, that being said, it's not like INnoVation's bad early game, but I think Maru has been a little bit flashier.
Yeah.
I also think INnoVation's so good that we sometimes get used to him. He's so consistent.
Yeah. You expect it.
You expect it of him. If he doesn't do it,
it's
he
like
doesn't deliver.
Everyone's talking about Maru for so long. Well, he started winning championships, that's why.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, INnoVation didn't win those 2 championships, and maybe he'll win the next 2. INnoVation generally picks up multiple tournaments in Korea every year. So that's... What else do I need to say? On the... Speaking about the GOAT, the greatest of all time, like, INnoVation is right there. Is he? Maybe.
So, again, not surprising here from INnoVation that he takes the free base. This is an INnoVation map.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm going to have an even better push later on. Okay. I'll take that. But, you know, Dark is somebody who likes to defend most stuff and then, you know, win in the long run. We haven't seen anything from Dark that tells us that we're going to have anything crazy aggressive. It looks like he just wants to continue to progress in tech and economy.
And I think it's hard anyways to get really aggressive against Terran in these situations, especially against INnoVation. His builds are generally made in such a way that you can't really kill him. He's pretty safe about everything. And I mean, look at this relentless Reaper, right? He just keeps poking in and checking out what's going on. Hard to get anything past him.
Okay, Vikings taking some damage here. So a slow start here in Game 2.
Yeah. Backwater is basically supposed to go on for a long time.
Yeah,
if it's
well,
not, then someone's playing poorly or
crazily.
Yeah.
And again, that is the way this map is shaped. There's one entrance to the 3 bases that you have for most units. Obviously, the Reaper can hop down there. Or somebody tweets that at me trying to help me out. I know about that.
Really?
Yeah.
That thing we just saw, you know about that?
I know about that.
You mean you casting on this map like probably four times every GSL? You know about that? You don't need someone's help with that one?
I don't even have notes for that one.
Wow.
But you have one location that you can try to defend a push from. And that means that you're kind of rewarding a player who's going to play, you know, a bit of a slower game at the start and try to macro up. Now, INnoVation, I think, with the wall off over here, is going to finally come out and start dropping. And what INnoVation wants to do here, we've seen him do this in several games before, is he drops at the perimeter of the creep. He stims, he pushes in, and tries to drive the other player back. Actually, he's not going to do that this time. Excuse me. He's going to try to go into the main.
Little puddles follow underneath those as they fly over the water.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, whenever there's an airship flying over, it's like a hovering device.
Is that how these fly?
Yeah, they're hovercrafts, dude.
That's sick.
Oh my God!
Are you serious?
What?
6 hit points.
Out of nowhere, rocks come down and crush those queens. I'm like, God, he's so good. Man, it's even better in the second game.
He gets away with 6 hit points and then rocks come down to the main.
Just out of nowhere. He destroys rocks from another map and they just land in here and kill those queens. I'm like, damn, dude, he's so sick.
And then INnoVation he gets his own little saying. He's like, it's time to rock and roll. Rocks fall on the queens as he boosts out.
Watch out, there's Marines by rocks over here. There's a lot of danger here on this map.
Yeah. I can't believe that. Oh my God.
Wow.
Just rocks fall on those queens in the main.
I know, just like in game 1. It's just he's so good.
The greatest part, there's no rocks in the main.
Yeah. How did he do that? Nobody knows. He's just
how he
good.
plays. INnoVation becomes too strong and we have to just stop making rocks for these maps.
Suddenly they're just thwops from Mario landing down on different armies.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I thought INnoVation was initially going to start doing, was landing on the edge and gunning down creep, and then Dark will try to come in with his army and drive that back, and occasionally when INnoVation can pick that fight, he will exchange more advantageously with Dark, and sometimes this can snowball where he'll start to plow through. Now, I don't think it's going to happen this game since he went for that drop of the main first. Did a Baneling just blow up on the rock?
Yeah, INnoVation killed some of his Banelings with the rocks.
That's how scary INnoVation is when there are rocks in this game.
Yeah.
Is, Dark's thinking, I got to get rid of these things too, but my queens are all going to be dead.
Dustin Browder knew the possibilities of the destructible rocks.
That's right. We're finally seeing it pan out here now.
Jeez.
Okay, CC lands now. INnoVation on 4 bases to the 5 bases of Dark. Both players reaching the tipping point here as far as supply. We're going to be maxed out in the next minute.
Yes, certainly very quickly at this point. 2-2 is about to finish for INnoVation, so that is the timing. It's right before Dark's 2-2. Hive is just finishing up, so this is like going to be the weakest point for Dark until there's a bunch of Ravens and Ghosts out. Okay, an Ultros Cavern coming up right now. A couple Vipers on the way. INnoVation pushing right through. He's hitting this timing so sharply.
Okay, here we go. Already, Dark decides to back up. This is a little bit of a difficult area for the Zerg to really get in there with the Lings and the Banelings, so he's going to double down. More Banelings here.
Yeah.
Now, this initial big attack, especially if it's Ling, Hydra, Bane, it's very important that it goes well for Zerg.
Yes.
If it does not, then INnoVation can begin to snowball it.
Yeah, he can just win from there a lot of the time.
But look at this. He's going to back up. I like it.
Yeah, he actually started at Ghost Academy just as he went out. I think that this was like a very smart play. He realizes that, like, okay, he was trying to do it, but Dark is playing too smart. He's sitting back in a concave. Are you going to go into that Valinus area and, like, be able to push up? It becomes a little bit hard. But if he pulls back, sets up defensively, and again, I feel like Beyond should be given another shout out for this. Like this siege tank into ghost stuff. Like a lot of times what we would see is the siege tanks would die, and then, you know, you try to get into ghosts. Like you have a liberator here and there, and you're trying to do it. But sitting defensively with these, the Ling Hydra Bane won't really be able to do very much. Maybe he can get that French expand, but INnoVation is super safe and can get into this other tech set.
Okay, here we go. Lings and Banelings coming through now. He does pull away, breaking off a chunk of that Zerg army. When there's that many Banelings, you can't even really rely on targeting as a Terran player. But he can rely on kiting, which is what we're seeing here. Now, Dark did have the right defense there for that drop that INnoVation was hoping to do that could maybe throw this game into an out-of-control situation for Dark. There was a Spore as well as Lings and Banelings. problem, though, is that I don't know if Dark can actually come in here and break this down, but it looks like he's going to try. He has 15 more Banelings on the way.
Yeah, he has a lot of units right now. If he hits, like, perfect Blinding Clouds, maybe. Ling Bane flowing in right now. Siege tanks, some of them not firing. The Bane's trying to get in.
Okay, the Banelings actually go for these SCVs up here. That's 11 kills.
Yeah, 15.
Huh.
Seems like that. I mean, it was okay, but I don't think it actually did the damage he was looking for. Like, what did he clear? Some SCVs that don't matter that much when it's that small amount?
I think he did not win a positional fight. He traded in army, and of course Dark does have more supply. He does have those ultras out.
Yeah.
This is the part where Dark gets his few ultras out, and it's too hard to kill him with a push.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that really crippled INnoVation at all. I mean, these guys already both had a lot of workers. It was 76 right now to 84. I know there was...
Yeah, he brought him down to like 60 SCVs, so that's like, okay. That doesn't matter, especially against Terran dropping mules,
yeah, you don't have to tighten your belt as far as macro goes.
No, you're totally fine to just rebuild that. And like, yeah, you cleared some siege tanks. He just makes a few more, spreads them out. INnoVation is sealed up tight. It seems like Dark wants to attack again. The Baneling wants to hit that rock so bad.
That's
oh
right.
My god. Like, get in there, guys! I do good damage!
He's against all rocks at this point in time, man. So, can Dark come in here at the top and try to deny this location? It seems like that's the game plan.
Okay, let's see what these Vipers get
he's
done.
going to try to just overwhelm this. Now, Blinding Clouds have gone down. The tanks don't seem to be quite spread out well enough.
One of those Blinding Clouds actually missing. He gets a command center, but he's just going to lose everything, right? Like 8 SCVs, a command center, a few tanks. I heard at least 1 or 2 ghosts die there. But was that like efficient enough? I guess it's slightly more efficient for Dark. His economy's a little bit better still, but you're not. I don't feel like you're really making headway, if that makes sense. Like, can you do that 5 more times and win? Maybe. How many?
I wonder if some of the ways that we're seeing Dark play on this map is a reaction to how the games against Ryung went. Because he seems to want to end it. He's like, no, we're not going to go to late game.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I think there's definitely something there. The setup of Liberators making it a bit too hard for him to get down here.
But if I'm INnoVation, as long as I keep surviving these attacks, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I think so.
If you survive these attacks.
I mean, the bank of INnoVation is super small. He's not able to max out again. It seems like, I mean, I know Dark has a little bit of an advantage going into these attacks, but it feels like there's just, this is all going slightly more cost efficiently for INnoVation each time, and it doesn't feel like Dark is about to find critical damage, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that being said, Dark can keep trying to grow on the map. I mean, you can see he's leaning back on his macro. It's spiked back up to 181 supply. But INnoVation is now making those 3 Ravens.
He is indeed. 12 broods, or not broods, but corruptors on the way. Those will be broods eventually. A lot more Ling Bane once again. I guess Dark is going to continue to play in this way. His creep spread is almost to that base, and if he can continually deny it, then, I mean, the strategy turns out to be super effective. I don't know. I don't want to be, like, overly critical of it because it's not that it's not working. I'm just wondering if it's going to work.
The thing is, it seems like INnoVation is getting closer and closer to a breaking point here. I mean, with the amount of Lings and Banelings on the ground, it's hard to distribute damage. What is it, Marauders and Ghosts? I mean, those are just way outnumbered. But, well, hold on a second. Actually, no, the Corruptors are doing a lot of damage here as well.
Yeah, the Corruptors, actually, I didn't even think of this. He's just utilizing them to kill off. The Liberators are what suddenly INnoVation switched into that started wrecking. Oh, did he just...
That's it.
Wow.
Dark did it. He actually.
Okay, that was interesting because I didn't think that Dark was going to be able to finish him off, but actually the Corruptors made sense. I thought he was going to go into Broodlords with that for some reason, but that was a good move.
Here's what I was noticing: is INnoVation kept teching up to more sophisticated units like Ravens and Ghosts, and when you're looking at what Dark's making, it's like Lings and Hydras and Banes again. I mean, there's some Ultras in there, but like you need stiff Marines, you need tanks.
Yeah,
match his tech with what you need.
Yeah, like he did remake tanks a couple times there. But yeah, that was like kind of a tempo-based victory for Dark. If he had been any slower with that, I think that that will start to go very much into INnoVation's favor, especially if he gets that base up and keeps that up for any amount of time. But well done. That was a very interesting game. I didn't expect the ending to quite look like that. That was really cool.
Very impressive by Dark. We now go to the final game between these two. Dark against INnoVation. Only 2 spots remain in the round of 16. One of these players will advance after this game. The other goes to the final match in our last group of the GSL.
Dark. INnoVation.
So Blackpink going to be our final map. So oftentimes revolves around that 4th base and the push against that 4th base. We did see one insane game from Dark here, if you recall, where he just kept re-expanding twice everywhere. That was a lot of fun.
Hi. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming down. Now, is Dark going to do something crazy and pull the trigger? Is he going to do a rush? It seems like in a series, even just a best of 3, he tends to rush at least once. Am I wrong about this?
He does mix in a lot of rushes. I don't think he will here, because INnoVation is generally rush-proof against Zerg. The rush options that Zerg has, there are some. As No Regret can tell you, there's things like there's weird Hydra builds, there are Ling Bane attacks you can try to do. We saw him do against Ryung that Queen drop with Roach Ravager, but these don't seem to be, as solid as some of the all-ins that other races have against various races. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels hard to rush Terran.
Well, also it feels hard to rush INnoVation.
Yes.
I think if it was any other Terran, maybe it'd be worthwhile, but I just want to see if Dark does it this time, because as much as we hype up his macro, we always do have to go back and point out, okay, but he does win a lot of games with very fast attacks.
Yeah. By the way, it looks like a 2-1-1 coming out of INnoVation, so very quick double medevac stim timing push.
So he's going for the peanut butter and jelly of INnoVation builds.
Yeah, definitely a popular one that's become popular once again, especially on this map. We already saw what Dark's counter is to this, which is basically the same counter as everyone. A bunch of queens and quick +1 carapace with lings to stop it.
So he wants the ability to try to hit the medevacs while still also able to soak enough damage without necessarily hemorrhaging anywhere near as much as if that armor wasn't there.
Yeah, so it seemed like he thought that this was the build that Ryung was doing to him on this map, but it wasn't in that case. And we'll see if he goes with that same type of play here, taking that 3rd base. The 3rd base location I like better against INnoVation's build than the other 3rd base, personally. Can't just pick up and rocket into the main from that 3rd. It's kind of everything in a line here. Ooh, that's a good early pick-off right there.
Great pick there by INnoVation. That's supposed to be over that little dome area north of that base for a little while. So Stim's coming up here. Link speed on the way as well here for Dark. And it's going to be a little bit of a slower game until those medevacs come out. Ah! Nice try.
No evolution chamber yet here for Dark.
Good point.
Yeah, we'll have to see if and when he ends up deciding to get that. There it is. Okay. Thought it was right around now. And, I mean, we just wait now for those medevacs to come out. Stim to finish, see where INnoVation goes. Does he go towards the 3rd and start picking off some creep? Can he out micro Dark at that point?
So Stim, just a little bit over halfway done. Again, what we've seen this happen a couple times in the TVZs we've already casted today from INnoVation, and this is something, it's kind of a hallmark INnoVation playstyle. Like, whenever I think of this build, I think of INnoVation almost exclusively.
You think of him more than Beyond?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I feel like this was Bjorn's bread and butter that year that he dominated.
Yeah, but I've seen too many games where INnoVation is just pushed out and won handedly against some of the very best. Even though it's not intended to win this part of the game, he's so good at spreading units out.
Yeah.
And so we see it begin.
Yeah, Stim finishes literally this second. Stim's forward there.
Now, some Terran players would have scanned and gotten the tumors. Sometimes what INnoVation will do is stim and dive in to see if he can kill a few queens. Because a lot of times, again, you got to see a lot of INnoVation's games to do this, but sometimes they'll just get in there and kill 1 to 2 queens, and then the queen count's a little bit off. He'll pick up and go somewhere else. The queens are not able to quite catch up, and the Zerg starts to panic. And the rotation continues until eventually armies are bled off. Now, I don't think it's going to happen at all to Dark here. I think Dark is definitely just a veteran.
Yeah. His control so far has been really strong. Hasn't really taken damage yet. Like a tumor has died, maybe a ling or two, some damage to a queen. Nothing of note. Maybe pick off an Overlord there. A few lings.
INnoVation backing up now.
This defense so far from Dark is really, really strong.
The defense from Dark has actually been better than the offense from INnoVation, to be honest.
Yeah. When you see this from these quick medevac harassments, I feel like I really like Zerg positions here, right? Because they have so many queens, they're able to continually push out that creep. And, you know, as long as he keeps controlling like this, INnoVation's not going to find damage. It looks like he wants to hit 2 locations, so maybe that is where he can get that damage done.
Okay, so these medevacs are going to unload over here, and INnoVation's hoping there's going to be a soft spot somewhere, an Achilles heel somewhere in the space where he can really start to bleed out Dark. And Dark basically knows this is coming, especially seeing the second medevacs.
Yeah, he's actually sent queens up there. Oh, God. That Widowmine, though.
Oh, there it is. That's the play he was looking for. He got all those Banelings.
Oh my God, that's a lot of queens
sitting there. Yeah.
So close to the edge as well. Maybe he could have made a little bit of a trap, had him a bit further back.
Look at this. So he's going to continue to kite out. Good pickups there.
A lot of lings still being produced.
With this play over here, he's actually getting all the creep tumors in that area.
Yeah, the creep spread is not quite as far as you want it, especially with the type of unit composition he's going for. This is going to be Hydroling Bane. Not going to try any Mutilist shenanigans like we saw previously. Siege tanks are being made by INnoVation, who's getting 2-2, just slightly ahead of the +2 carapace. +1 finishing up here.
Oh, wow, how funny. It did not look like Terran was actually going to drop there, so Dark already backs off, getting ready for the next movement. Now, while this is happening and he's moving around, there is an opportunity for Dark, if he has enough lings, to try to just hit that third base, but it doesn't seem like he's comfortable with that. Again, INnoVation blasts through here, taking out those creep tumors.
Yeah, continually pushing it back. And look, the creep is actually so far back that eventually there's going to be a tank push on this 4th base. The creep should not be there for it. Or maybe it will be, because it seems like he should wait for 2-2 at this point. I think that's going to be even more powerful than trying to push before the creep is there. But, you know, that is oftentimes the point of tension, is that 4th base location. Can the siege tank push take that out? And then suddenly you're on 3 base against 3 base, and, you know, going Ling, Bane, Hydra, that's not where you want to be.
Okay, Bane's coming up. The 1 tank will drive them out. And INnoVation just trying to play catch-up here with supplies. But again, these little skirmishes here, like taking out these Hydras, this is actually a pretty big deal. And the moment he says, no, it's not going to work out, he just picks up and backs off again.
Yeah, so many tumors being taken out.
But I really have to commend Dark here. I mean, the fact that he continues to shove creep. There are other players in the GSL where they would just not have any tumors at all.
Yeah.
And the push on the 4th base could end it. Now, I don't know if INnoVation still wants to push when he hits 2-2. I mean, if he was going to push, he'll probably go for the 4th base.
I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't try to do something, but I don't think he's going to be able to get too much done. How many tanks does he actually have? 3?
We really haven't had that many shots of INnoVation's base. There's been so many attacks here on the creep perimeter.
He must have 3 or 4 siege tanks, so like a push can occur. I feel like it should be down at the bottom going towards the 4th. But Dark's macro is no joke here. Oh, this is a good drop. Look at this.
Whoa, nicely done. Taking out drones, taking out queens and hydras.
All right, good transfusion. Will end up clearing this all out, but definitely losing a bit here, and more creep going down as well. INnoVation's multitasking on point.
He is so sick. And I mean, I don't know how many clues are picked off back there, but it was definitely enough. So it's really soon to be the 4th base for INnoVation finishing up, which is 4 base versus 4 base, which means Dark is going to be forced. Yeah, you see it just now finished up. Dark is going to be forced to take a 5th.
Has creep spread not really up near the 5th, I think he'd probably want to take. In fact, that bio set coming back down once again. Dark has more units out on the map now. Not sure what his plan is from here. Like, he's going into Hive, so probably just going to go up to Ultras to try to stop whatever comes next from INnoVation.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine we're going to see from him. Now, INnoVation's giving special attention over here in this area here to make sure there's no creep tumors here so that there's no easy 5th base. There's also medevacs in the south. They're headed to the southeast. And look at this. Dark is so good. He's already ready.
Does not want anything getting canceled right now.
So he's dropping 1 Marine at a time on top of those Banelings, trying to make them cost inefficient.
Ghost Academy coming up. Feeling that it's time for that transition. Good timing as well as the Hive just finishes now.
Once again, INnoVation with a pickup. He does back up.
I think we're to the point of completely diminished returns on these drops at this point.
I think so. I think Dark has so much. He can swat them down with ease. And then if INnoVation tries to commit too hard there, then he's just going to lose his army.
Yeah, you're just throwing away 10 supplies suddenly. He's going to send another medevac. It looks like he's going to line it with the top of the screen and try to hit the main base again. So, I mean, I think that's definitely a worthwhile one. But other than that, these little ones that we see out here, they're really doing so little for the amount of investment INnoVation's putting in time-wise.
We should be seeing a push eventually here, because Dark is taking a 6th base. And just the unit composition that INnoVation has gone for, it's a push unit composition. It's not like what we saw Ryung do against Dark, where he's playing Gundam and just wants to stay back forever with his robot army.
Well, I just saw 3 Tech Labs making. Yeah, look at these upgrades that are coming out of the engineering bays now as well. Like building army, high-sec auto tracking. It's INnoVation is going for the transition at this point.
Yeah,
and
well, he has to.
I think that INnoVation can't attack right now. We're kind of hitting that moment where the ground force of Dark becomes too strong if you don't have a good solid Ghost or Raven count.
It's kind of cute. I think it's a little bit too late for some of this, but I guess it is keeping the Zerg honest. So there's going to be another small push down here at the bottom.
Yeah, this is just INnoVation, utilizing his ridiculous speed. As you saw there, he's almost 500 APM right now. Right? We're 13 minutes in the game, maxed out. There's very little actual damage being done, but he's utilizing this crazy APM, clearing creep, keeping Dark at least a little bit busy while he adds 4 starports. He's making 4 ghosts at a time. He's going to be making 4, 5, 6 ravens at a time, I bet you, in a second here. Multiple command centers, maybe 4 of those at a time. Who knows?
Who knows, Artosis? INnoVation actually wants to push the bottom center. Not push, I guess just acquire. He wants to just move over down there.
Yeah.
Now, Terran could try to turtle in this kind of triangle here in the bottom that he's about to complete here with that bottom right corner being made. The upper left is not very accessible to Terran. It can be taken, but it's also easy for Zerg to deny that. So these 3 bases up here where there's some ambiguity about who really gets it. The same way that there is for the bottom base just to the right of this base that we're looking at here. It's sort of ambiguous. Nobody really gets that base.
That's right. That base is not too gettable on either side.
I want to clarify for some of the people that might be confused with what we're saying with that. Some bases, it looks like clearly that's on the Zerg side of the map with the Terrans, but when you look at it, how are they ever going to hold it? It's too close.
Basically, the base at just before 6, that's right below here, and then it's mirror base, which is just before 12 up at the top, are kind of the bases that are a little bit difficult to hold because it's technically on, the one on the bottom is on Zerg side, the one on the top is on Terran side, but it's down a hill where it's well, I mean, this is so easy to attack. Kind of interesting. I want to go back to the game that we saw between Zanster and Maru here, where Zanster was actually winning for a really long time. I really liked the fact that Zanster had creep up in the top left. They were the same positions, right? I would like to see this from Dark, a little bit more focus, because the top of the map right now Nothing is going on. There's 4 bases sitting there, and like Terran has to put so much effort into this bottom area and this kind of nebulous expansion that we've been talking about, and pushing over there, that it's always a good opportunity for Zerg to try to do something up at the top. But I mean, these guys are taxed so highly right now.
So now INnoVation wants to get rid of SCVs. Says, here you go. And he wants to spend more money getting Ghosts and Ravens. And we're getting into another Supreme late game situation. Now, last time we saw Dark in a super late game situation, it was against Ryung. Ryung went for a mech composition. It did not, Dark did not fare too well. Ryung played that perfectly till the very, very last play. But this is a little bit of a different game because INnoVation didn't go for an odd unit comp. He's going for, I guess, what we consider to be the more orthodox, ideal late-game unit composition. Yeah. Maybe in some ways that's better for Dark than the offbeat unit comp that Ryung went for, which was Mass Thor with Raven. At least Dark's got experience against what he's going to deal with here against INnoVation. That's
a good point. I think that what INnoVation is doing is technically stronger.
Right.
But Dark might not. Like, we could see some of the engagements didn't go like he thought they might against the Thors. Like, we saw him try to nest him and stuff, but how often do you get to practice Baneling against Thor, right?
Yeah,
or Mass Thor, rather.
You have to imagine Dark's probably playing against that Thor style against Ryung going, what?
Yeah, he's like,
what is this?
So there's no ghost. I'm supposed to win, right?
Yeah.
Like
and then eventually he loses and goes, huh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to rush in the next game.
Look at this.
Don't need him. Units. Don't need him. We don't recycle. Nope. That tank had one more shot.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to kill the SCV.
No, look, I'm helpful. And yeah, I'm like, wait, are you going to clear that supply of the SCV building your command center? Nah, it was a link.
And now we have the Broodlords trying to push through here. Nom, 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 nom.
He is Knurl. He should steal that Liberator and let the turrets kill it.
Okay.
Look at that. How many EMPs does he need?
That was like 6 EMPs on a small
What, is this like Brood War? It's like all of them cast at once?
Bungle here on these ghosts. INnoVation has to be careful. Wow, with a lot of force. Dark is actually able to push back here.
Dark's doing a better job right here, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, those Banelings actually did pretty well. He's cleared quite a few ghosts. The Broodlords are not really dying.
Okay. Not the best splitting there for Dark. A big focal point here is this base at the bottom. There's a chance that Dark wins this game by smothering the 6 o'clock position for Terran. Terran cannot easily take the upper left. It looks like it's close. It's pretty hard.
Okay, nukes begin. You don't see him add like 10 nuke silos like Maru does. That's okay though. Reach his own.
And the nuke's gonna come down here and land.
Oh!
Changeling got hit by the missile of the nuke. And we've got more and more nukes making here. Now INnoVation tries to sneak a base over here, and Dark is having none of it.
Yeah, gonna easily pick that off. Is that a ghost in that medevac? Is he like sending that up there to nuke or something?
Maybe.
There's one unit in medevac boosting more. It was the size of a ghost or a widow mine. A marauder maybe.
So in this small, compact area, an arms race is built up. There's going to eventually be a fight in between these two. You can see there's nukes going off now. And it's really, the Zerg wants to try to break this, so there's nukes being fired into this area. Oh, actually, nice. He forces a cancel there. So,
you know what you should be able to do, Tasteless? I think I'd make this matchup a lot better. You should be able to, you know how you can give a ghost a command to put away its gun?
Yeah.
You should be able to give it a command that makes it look like it's shooting a nuke. It just holds its gun like it's shooting a nuke. It doesn't move.
It turns on its laser pointer like a kid in the movie theater.
Well, that might be imba, actually, if you could just turn on, because then you would. But, like, what if you just, right? Like, he was nuking there and he just saw the ghost, so he right-clicked on it. But what if that was the decoy and the ghost was somewhere else?
So, more transfusions are going to go down here. Now, it seems like Dark neglected slightly control of the top here, as Dark is just trying to shove into this area because it's almost been broken. These Marauders could come in here and take out a base as they maraud to the north map.
That's true. They're marauding around right now, just clearing things.
Oh man, he's actually getting so close to breaking this. The Broodlords can almost fire on top of the planet. In fact, they can hit the planetary.
Some sick spellcasting right there.
We've got
sick bombs.
Got some more Marines and Ghosts coming up. He needs to push this army back. Fungal would be very handy right now.
He's got to repair some of those Ravens as well. Have Liberator range on the way. More Liberators being added. The Ultras joining the fray right now.
Problem is, once it starts to take damage, if Zerg can get this position held and kept, I think INnoVation will eventually lose this game. By the way, look at the minerals right now. INnoVation's at about 150. Dark's at 8K. With 6K gas, INnoVation at about 100 gas.
That is true. But if he starts getting some really good trades with his Ravens, he has a lot of Ravens, a lot of energy, he has a decent amount of Ghosts still. So there's still potential for INnoVation here, absolutely.
Okay. 1 or 2 good Fungals away.
Hey, he's actually missing a bunch of his steady shots here.
Yeah, he really is. Nukes coming down. Nice harpooning here on the Liberators. Oh, man. And with that, the Ultras have to back up. We've got more Corruptors on the way.
You know, we don't get to see, because INnoVation actually just muscles through people a lot of time before this part of the game. So we actually don't get to see him utilize these later game units so well. Or so often, I guess, is actually what I meant to say, but at the same time, so well. Because you look at the other top Terrans, like, it doesn't seem to me like his Ghost Control is on the same level as a Maru or a TY, who we see enter that later game a little bit more often, I guess.
Okay, I think actually INnoVation's just turned the tides of this game. For a while, it was INnoVation trying to hang on and hold off. It seems like now INnoVation has decided that he's got the right unit comp. He can start to push through.
I think he's overdoing it a little bit here.
And look at exactly to what you said, Artosis. It was INnoVation bursting out, and all of a sudden, Dark has shut down everything. We saw INnoVation plummet down to 139 supply, trying to spike back up. It's Lings, Ultras, Banelings, and Corruptors being remade. Again, that bottom base is the focal point. The upper left has been sneakily taken, but all Dark has to do is send an army over there, and that should have to lift off.
Yeah, that shouldn't be hard for him to clear. In fact, it can't even land at the moment as Zergling expertly placed underneath. Well, this one is going to go down. It doesn't have that many minerals left, but definitely a victory for Dark right there.
Free kill there. INnoVation seems to be just not without much of anything. An army going into that base like it's a ghost town and wiping it out.
Yeah. Wow,
INnoVation's going to
put a mule.
He's putting all his chips in over here.
That's so many mules they have to wait to mine. Oh god, the parasitic bomb's coming out. INnoVation is so screwed. He's losing everything. That's it.
Looks like Dark has done it. With the Ravens disappearing, there's just not a lot of equity you can get out of an army this late into the game.
So INnoVation is human. His supreme late game a little bit off. Look at the dancing by Dark.
GG. Dark takes it and moves on to the round of 16.
Yes, indeed. That will be it for our Zerg games tonight. But Dark in first place in this group over INnoVation. I don't think it's a huge surprise. I looked at the maps and thought INnoVation might take it, but it seems like his Ghost Raven is not like perfect like a Maru or a TY. Does that matter though with the Raven getting nerfed soon? Maybe I don't know. It's like, that's fine. I have to use a different style come up anyways.
Crazy that was such a, it was a nail biter back and forth, but INnoVation got a little bit too confident, pushed out, and that's when Dark smashed the Ghosts.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have an interview with Dark here in a moment. Going on that round of 16. We almost have the round of 16 complete at this point, Tasteless. 15 players already qualified.
첫 번째 16강 진출자 박영우 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
Another Zerg player joins round of 16. Congratulations, Dark. He says
정말
thank you.
축하드립니다. 이신영 선수를 상대로 먼저 승자전 승리하신 소감
Against
들어볼게요.
INnoVation.
사실
you played very well. How do you feel?
신영 형이 저렇게 하면 좀 승률이 안 나와가지고 걱정을 많이 했는데
On the ladder, when I play against INnoVation, he does that style. I tend to lose.
이기게 된 것 같아요.
와, 3세트 경기는
계속해서
회자가 될 것
I think he made a lot more mistakes than normal.
한 번도 이렇게 테란의 최종 조합을 깬 저그가 없었는데 최초로 깬 저그가 되셨어요.
Seems like Zerg's having a really hard time.
안 그래도 제가 좀 반가
lot of Zergs just aren't able to beat that
스트레스를
Terran
많이
late game style.
받으면서 좀 생각을 많이 했던 게
Yeah, I was pretty stressed out when we got to that point in the game.
공략하는데 도움이 됐던
I
것
hate playing against
아니
Ghost Raven.
수요일에 어유수 선수의 그 테란전 경기를 보시면서 밤까마귀를
I was doing a lot
보며
of
볼 때마다
homework on how to take that on.
이야기를 하셨으면서 이렇게 이기는 모습
So a lot of times you
그만큼 고민이
mentioned
뒷받침이
that you were
됐겠죠. 이
stressed out.
밤까마귀에 대한 가장 좋은 대처법 뭐라고
And that
생각하시나요?
Ghost Raven is just so crazy and hard to take on.
솔직히 지금도 테란이
What is the best solution right now for that?
완벽하게 하면 못 이긴다는 생각을 가지고 있고
네.
잘 휘둘러서 빈틈을 만들어야
I
됩니다.
think if Terran
네.
plays the
오늘
abilities
이
perfectly,
김동원 선수와의
there's not a
경기도
chance for
정말
Zerg to win,
재밌었습니다.
in my opinion. That's the
이
problem.
세트 빼고 또 이야기를 해볼까요? 그 경기 정말 아까웠어요. 그 장기전
Let's talk about
했는데
Backwater.
그것도 이 최종 조합을 깰 뻔했거든요. 그 경기의 가장 큰 아쉬움이 뭘까요?
저도 좀 다 이겼다고
Seems
생각해서
like you were very close to win on those maps.
좀 다 이겼다 생각하고 있었는데
네.
By the way, there's something about the map against Ryung.
상대 메카닉 조합이
네네.
사실 그 유령도
I thought I had won that. I didn't realize how behind I was. I don't really know what happened in that game.
실패한 조합이었는데 그게 상대하기 좀 까다로웠나요?
유령이 없어서 울트라 리스크를 많이 뽑은 건데
네.
역시 쓰레기다.
Since he didn't really have that many ghosts,
네, 아무것도
I
못하고
was confused. I just made a bunch of
그랬군요.
ultralists and thought I was going to win.
사실 이거
And I guess that didn't work out well for me.
김동원 선수와의
Yeah.
그 3세트 빌드는 사실 이신영 선수와의 승자전을 염두에 두고 짠 빌드가 아니셨는지 생각이
Let's talk
들었는데
about the games on
사실
Catalyst.
백워터에서 쓰려고 했는데
네.
It's quite unusual to have a build like that.
또
Did you prepare
후반
for
가면 어떻게
that?
될지 모르니까
For INnoVation specifically?
동원이 형 그냥 안전하게 이기고 승자조 가 있자라는 생각으로 썼어요.
네, 정말 오늘 참 멋진 경기
I just knew I wanted to go to the winners match,
또 기분
so I had to
좋게
pull out a build I knew would win.
됐습니다. 자, 이제 16강
I had
조성
no plans
선수가
to use
차지로
it,
권한을 행사하는
But when I
조성식인데요.
realized that this was my chance to make the round of 16, I had to do it. So
저도
next up is the group
시드로
nominations.
알고
What are your
있는데
plans?
이번엔 진짜 좀 꿀조를
So
한번
I'm a seeded player.
세 번째 시드를 행사하시게
Since
됐을
I'm seeded,
텐데
hopefully I
꿀조를 만들어 보겠다.
I can make an easy group for me.
알겠습니다. 자, 이렇게 이신영 선수 이렇게 막강한 상대를 이긴 만큼 이번 시즌 정말 기대가 됩니다. 마지막으로 팬들에게 앞으로의 한마디 부탁드립니다.
A lot of people have very high expectations of you, especially after beating INnoVation. Anything to say to your fans? Say, since the weather's pretty bad and it's really rainy outside, I'm really grateful people came down to the studio. Thank you for coming down.
아, 그래 부족해요.
네.
패치하니.
어차피 링맹도
Raven patches are coming. Hopefully they're nerfed a
블리자드
lot.
관계자분들이 이걸 보고 계시다면 한
네.
5로 그냥 깎아버리시는 게
If anybody from Blizzard is watching,
알겠습니다.
please
다시
nerf
한번 16강 진출
they're
축하드립니다.
damaged from 30 to 5.
Oh my
네, 이렇게
god.
마지막 패치
Sorry, buddy. It's 30 to 15 as far as we know.
강영우 선수를 만나봤는데요.
Okay.
계속해서 GSL 이벤트
Great series there.
Yeah.
자, 먼저 현장에
It was good. What can you do? It's a very good series overall. INnoVation a little bit weaker in that Supreme Light game with the Ghost Raven.
Yeah, well, you can see why it's hard to stop. I mean, the symbiosis of the Ghosts and the Ravens and the fact they can spam out those abilities. Also, guys, we got a promotional event coming on.
You win
over
mouse
here.
pads. Go chat
Go there and
on
chat
Africa TV.
and be a decent human being on the internet, and you might win. That's all the time we have for now. When we come back, the losers match where we eliminate our first player here in the GSL.